there were no entries in open B grade, open AB for print sulphur.
These are the only two that had the prints in these two bags here.
Open A grade, and this image is called cockatiels.
Cockatiels. And as you can see, we have cockatiels. They're reasonably sharp. They've got a shallow depth of field, possibly because it was taken with a big lens. And as a result, they stand out. They're on their various stages of takeoff. They form a triangle. I personally think, you know, they're in a triangle. If he was a little bit lower and the triangle was slightly lower, maybe it would have been a tighter group. But all in all, it's a very nice bokeh background and the birds are sharp. I don't know, maybe a vignette might help improve the image, but apart from that, you're doing a really good job. I've seen them and I never got a photo that good because they take off when you come anywhere near them. So you've done really well to capture this.
The next image is This'll Do.
This'll do. We're using negative space. Now sure, I can say, oh, there's a pink thing up in the corner, which obviously it's another flower, but there is a pink thing up in the corner. So I look at images and we look at visual weights. So we look at that, we say, well, that's 50% of the image. That's only 7%, and that's maybe 10% of the image up in the corner. So when you look at it, you go, the background here, because there's nothing there, our brain just goes, right, there's nothing there, so let's concentrate on what we can see. Now, we say, look at this gigantic flower and look at this tiny thing. So you're using negative space. Because there's nothing else, your eye goes straight to the little native bee and he's coming to get some pollen and feed his babies and live his life. Now, can you imagine how long, if that was what he was going to harvest, the whole lot of them, it would take him his whole life and he'd feed his family for the rest of the time off that one single flower. It's a very nice image and the bee's nice and sharp and it tells a good story and you use negative space even if you didn't realise it.
Plumed whistling ducks, number 2.
Now, I've had an image similar to this, and it was a brown, taken in West Australia, it was a lizard, a brown lizard on a green plant. And as a result, you don't get much separation between the 3 ducks. Okay? You don't get much separation. Now, I got these at work, when I was at work the other week, and so on my way home or at lunchtime, I said to the other boardie that was with me, I said to him, I like to get people's opinions, even little kids. Everyone has a visual opinion of what images are and what they like, what they don't like, and some of it's from life experience. And I said to her, and she's an English lady, I said to her, what do you think? And she's gone, I know they're ducks, but it actually hurts my eyes. And I said that, I'm actually going to mention that as a total novice's description. There's no real separation. So you've got 3 ducks that have taken off. The 3 ducks themselves are relatively sharp. But because they're brown, the background's green, the background's busy, you haven't done the white bokeh like that previous image, we lose them in the background. Now, the only thing, as I was saying, I had a brown lizard on a green background, and Noel Clark, when he was alive, made a suggestion to me, which I tried, and it worked. So what you do is you take it in from RGB colour space, you take it into LAB colour space. And in the LAB colour space, instead of having green, red, and all the different variations, you actually have an A and a B slider. And you can go 200% over colour. So if you take the 200% on the green and pump it out of this world so it's absolutely spewing in green, and you take the brown, which has got a bit of red in it, and you do the other, you go one that way and one that way, then when you bring it back, now you're never going to be able to bring it back into RGB, but you've suddenly created a very, very red duck and a very, very green background. So then if you do a conversion to black and white, guess what? You've got separation. Now, that's the only suggestion that I have for this, and Noel Clark gave it to me. God bless his cotton socks.
Here I come.
Okay, again, we're going to analyse this one, so please, if the maker, is the maker here?
No.
No, okay. Topaz Labs is remarkable. The software is absolutely remarkable, and I can guarantee, because I have it, I know what it looks like when you push it too far. Now, there's area here, when you look at the prints later, there's areas where it's sharp, and there's a section right there where it's what it would actually be. And Topaz Labs tends to really do a great job. If you know what you're looking for, you'll find it. So what I do is, if I happen to possibly have dead areas, what I will do is I will reduce the opacity on the top layer so that that is not as vastly different to what it is next to it, so it's less obvious to the judge. But that said, it's an amazing shot. You've got, you know, the lighting, the bird, it's beautifully sharp, topaz sharpened. Again, I could be wrong. It might have used some other program. If I say it's beautifully sharpened and you didn't use topaz, you go, doesn't know what he's talking about. He said it was topaz. I didn't use topaz, I used something else. Anyway, beautifully sharp. You've got nice eye detail. It's a lovely image. But if you're going to use topaz, use it like makeup. You know, don't use a spatula to put it on. Use it and finesse it and really caress it and do a wonderful job. Make it, yeah.
And that's a merit for Yvonne Hill. Peregrine and Pigeon Grey.
I was on the Isle of Man and I saw a peregrine that was behind me, an 1880 bridge of bricks, and the pigeons would fly out around the headland, and the peregrines had the whole family of 3 chicks, and I've seen them in full flight grab a pigeon and it just went poof. It was just like someone shot the pigeon and it was just a puff of feathers. You've got a pigeon, and I think that's a telephone, an old telephone post with where they used to cap the metal caps on the top. I don't know for sure, but that's what it looks like to me. And here's one claw. I don't know if, I'm assuming you have more of this and you might have the whole foot on your shot, but to reduce being, it's not a nature, so I don't know why but I do, it might have entered in a nature competition previously. I would like to see more of the foot. I think you've got great feather detail, and it's an amazing bird, and they are so fast on there as they fly past. Beautiful shot.
And that's a merit for Howard Baker.
Howard, was the rest of the foot there?
It was.
Yeah, but you didn't get. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's not in nature.
Yeah.
So the whole foot says, you know, so much more about what's there. I mean, you can see the picture, but seeing it's a whole little foot going, oh, I'm getting eaten. It's so much story that it just went begging.
Fisherman in Red.
Fisherman in Red is just absolutely, I've just recently found ICM and I've just gone absolute. I've been doing it for years. I used to go to the Ekka with film, and I have 4 or 5 shots left and I knew it was going to end. So I'll get it and I'll take it, open it up on brief and wave it around and turn the camera over, and I did all sorts of things. Then they said ICM and I thought, I've been doing that for my whole life. But anyway, so I think we've got some ICM where it's moved across. I don't think it's a long exposure. It could very well be a neutral density, but there's no way a fisherman would stay for that long if it was a neutral density. So I'd say what whoever's made this has got a photo that they've done at a higher shutter speed with the fisherman standing there from earlier, and they've just cut him out and photoshopped him in. But they've done it so well that there is a shadow. It's just beautifully done, and I award this one. And I remember this. I remember this in honour.
So this is an honour for Tina Dial. Okay, and that's all we have